everybody. Hello, hello. Carson Meredith back with you on this Sunday night. I hope you're well. Hope your family's well. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend. Let's just dive right into it. We are tracking those storms that are finally on the march tonight. And we're still watching just to make sure they behave for the next few hours as they move through wave country. So there's the big picture radar as we jump right into it here at 7:56 p.m. on this Sunday night, March 23rd. And you can kind of see where the main show is. As we talked about for the last few days, a narrow line of thunderstorms rolling through, basically along the cold front. The cold front might be just a smidge behind it, but for all intents and purposes, once this line of storms rolls through here over the next couple of hours, we're good to go. So this is a quick, no big deal, but we need to babysit it, kind of a setup here as we go through this evening. And you notice, at least on this view, there are no warnings along this line. There were, in the last half hour or so, several severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me pan down, actually, show you a different map view. There were a few more severe thunderstorm warnings than what we have now with this portion of the line of storm stretching from Owensboro, between Owensboro and Madisonville, all the way down to Fancy Farm and Mayfield. There's now only a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings around the Tennessee state line. And as we've talked about, the better instability is in that particular part of Kentucky, southwestern Kentucky. The worst of the instability is even further south, down into Tennessee and Mississippi and western Alabama. So, again, this is not going to be a huge outbreak at all. We may not have a single warning tonight. But it's just one of those situations where we have to babysit radar, as we like to call it here in the weather office. Babysit it so much that I've got a second radar source on my phone that I'm using just to make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, give it another 3 hours or so, and we should be all clear from the small chance for a few strong to severe storms in wave country tonight. Let me go back to the view of where we are. And I'll do a deep dive here. It's going to be much more of an informal conversation tonight since we are actively tracking storms. So if you have any questions about these storms, let me know. Fire away. Let's go. Weather Geek says hello. Anita says, hey, hope you enjoyed your time off. I did. Yeah, I just needed a couple of days to take a break. We all need that once in a while. Angela, hope you're well, my friend. Patty's watching us on YouTube in the Knobs where it is storming. Yes, it is. Let's zoom in on the metro, shall we? Including the Knobs. Patty, there is that thunderstorm that you're hearing, basically right on top of the Knobs, right along I-64 up near the Lee Hamilton, near the 150 exit, near Highlander Point. Good little thunderstorm. And a lot of these storms this far north today and now tonight along Interstate 64, number one, they've not been severe at all. We've had no severe weather warnings today in our area, but they've really just been heavy rainmakers. Although there were some pretty loud booms of thunder with the storm that rolled through downtown here. I think it was during our 6 o'clock newscast or just before it. So they have been loud storms today in this part of wave country, right along I-64, but they have behaved. And mainly it's just been heavy rain and lightning, and that remains the case. So we've got those heavy downpours that Patty was just talking about in the Knobs. There's that one. Another heavy storm right on top of Corydon in Harrison County. Another storm in far southern Jefferson County. I'm talking Okolona and Hillview, south of the Snyder. So that particular area, seeing some of that Marissa Burke. You guys know the kind of trouble we get in the mornings. Somehow she's still here. I don't know why she's still working this late. Anyway, she's giving me a hard time through the window in her studio. Sorry. She made me crack. Doggone it. But anyway, watching this heavier storm in Hillview, right along the Jefferson Bullitt County line. Bardstown Road out towards Glen Mary. Very heavy rain, probably a few lightning bolts in that, but nothing severe. We'll go further to the north and east, just kind of hitting the spots that are seeing storms now in our area, and then we'll talk about the rest of the night. So Oldham County, anywhere in Oldham County, Trimble, Carroll, Henry, Shelby County, you guys are seeing some of those downpours. Not much lightning in that part of wave country, but still could cause some ponding on the roads. Strongest storm we have in our area right now is this one. This is right on the Perry-Breckenridge County line on top of the Ohio River. A lot of lightning. Let me check the wind on that. Make sure it's not getting too out of hand. Where you see those brighter greens, that's where you might have some slightly stronger wind gust. And I'm looking at the numbers off camera here. There might be some gust around 40 miles per hour, perhaps, with that particular storm. So we'll keep an eye on it. Again, nothing too severe at this point. So we'll go back to the home view. Let me run through some comments. And again, this is very informal. Usually I blitz through a bunch of graphics. I'm not going to go through too many graphics tonight. I'll probably just focus on tonight, tomorrow, and then I'll go to the 10-day. And we'll just keep watching these storms as they move in. Well, let's see here. Eli's watching in Crestwood. Hope all is well. ZK says good evening. Had a very brief storm where they are at in southern Indiana. Appreciate that, ZK. Happy Sunday, Tracy. Hope you're well. Dale says, good grief. The yards are a mess. Yeah, if you've been if you are in southern Indiana, or if you're basically along Interstate 64, you've seen rain most of the day, right? It's been that steady kind of stuff. In fact, let me pull up the rainfall total so far, and you can see where most of that rain has been today. It's been in southern Indiana, right? And down to Louisville and Shelbyville. Quarter to half inch along 64. About 0.8 of an inch of rain in Paoli today. A little over 0.8 of an inch in Bedford and Jasper too. So, yeah, that's where most of the rain is falling. But you go further south down towards E-Town, there hasn't been a ton. So that's going to be changing as this line moves through. Now, thankfully, this line of storms is not going to last long, maybe for 30 minutes tops, and that'll be it. But during that time, it'll be pouring buckets as it rolls through where you are. Let's see here. Are these storms going to be severe out west? Well, they have been severe at times this evening, and they still could be as we go through the next few hours. Zoom things out, and hey, I do not see any warnings on that line, which is a very good thing. So there's a lot of things working in our favor tonight. Number one, most of us don't have much instability. Because we've been socked into clouds all day. A lot of us have seen rain all day. And that warm front tried to get through wave country. It tried to move all the way through, but it failed. Look at these temperatures, folks. I mean, this is this is wild, and this is a meteorologist's nightmare. Because when you have a warm front that splits your viewing area, like this warm front is doing today and tonight, a 10 to 20 mile difference is going to give you significant differences in temperatures. And sure enough, down toward Hardinsburg, it's 64, 64 in Fort Knox, 61 in E-Town, 61 in Campbellsville, 63 in Lebanon. Here in Louisville, we are at our high temperature for the day right now at 54. As that warm front keeps trying to lift to the north just a little bit. But further to the north in southern Indiana, where you've been socked into the rain all day too, you're still in the mid-40s. Ugh. Feels like winter, kind of. Just a damp, dreary day, a good day to watch more basketball, right? So, yeah, the warm fronts that split the region like they have today, they're very, very tricky. And Louisville was the battleground as to how far north that warmer air would get. Now, that's why we've been so focused on areas south of Louisville to maybe see a few strong storms this evening, because you're 10 to 15 degrees warmer down towards Hardinsburg, E-Town, Litchfield, Mumfordville. And you got just a little more storm fuel, a little more instability to work with. So So that's why we have to keep babysitting these storms here over the next few hours. But right now, those storms are behaving. And that's a good thing. Let's see. Tanya's watching from Hanover. Ralph's watching over in Nicholasville. Stormy on Twitter or X or whatever Elon calls it today says, do you think we will get hail? There has been some hail in western Kentucky tonight, around quarter size. There was a report of quarter size hail about 25 minutes ago near Paducah. I can't remember which part of the line. I skimmed the report just briefly. There was some quarter size hail, but there's not much of a hail threat here. If we do get hail in our area, it would be pea to marble size. That's it. I don't anticipate to see severe hail tonight. Hey, we got a spammer. Love it. Stormy says, thank you for being here for us. Of course. Yeah, usually I'm a little earlier on my updates here on Wave Weather Now. Usually it's around 7, but I figured I'd wait a little bit tonight until these storms got closer to us so we can kind of talk through them a little bit more. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Tracy's asking about Jackson County up towards Medora. Going to see any more storms? Not really. Where is Jackson County? There we are, way up there at the top. There you are, Tracy. You're done. You're done with the storms. Maybe a couple sprinkles through the evening. That's about it. So we are good from any storm threat, be it severe or any storms. We are good to go for the rest of the evening for Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon, Medora, Tracy, Madison, Scottsburg, Salem, Paoli, Jasper, English, Marengo. You guys are good to go. No more storms rest this evening. All good. But if you're in this larger yellow box or polygon that I'm drawing, you still have the chance for heavy rain, perhaps some brief gusty winds that could be severe through about 11 o'clock. This is a quick moving system, thank goodness. So by the time you see me again on TV on Wave News at 11, most, if not all of these storms are gone. See you later. So just a few more hours to watch those storms. But if you're further to the north, Bedford, Seymour, North Vernon, Paoli, Salem, Jasper, Scottsburg, Madison, you are done with the storms this evening. So, Sarah, should I let the dog out now? If you're in E-Town? Yeah, you got about, I'm just trying to map it out here. You know what? There's an easy way to do that, friends, and that is to draw a track for you. So this line's moving pretty quickly, obviously, 50, 60 miles per hour. So based on this track, Sarah, you got about 30 to 45 minutes before these storms roll into E-Town. So take the pup out for a little bit. Make sure the pup does what it needs to do and bring them back inside because we don't want them outside during a thunderstorm. So yeah, you got time. You got about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes to take care of the pup there. Good question. Memphis, Indiana, Angela ask. Yes, you're good to go. No more storms. Maybe some showers still lingering in Memphis, but that's it. Jessica says lots of thunder in Hillview. Yeah, we mentioned that storm a moment ago. I'll show you where it's at now. It's starting to move out of Hillview slowly but surely. Let me see if it's got any wind with it. Yeah, not much. Could be some brief gust around 20, 30 miles an hour. Obviously, some very heavy rain, Jessica, like you're talking about. But that storm is moving off to the east pretty quickly. Let's see. Where was that question? Judy's asking about Campbellsville. When is this main line going to move in? I would say for Campbellsville, around 9:30 or 10 o'clock is when that line will probably roll through Campbellsville. So in about an hour and 20 minutes, might start to see that line move into Taylor County. So Alley Cat on Facebook says, very windy in Marion County. Yeah, the wind ramped up quite a bit today ahead of this cold front. We had some gusts around 25, 30 miles per hour. And if you think it's windy tonight, just wait until tomorrow. We'll talk about that later on this evening as we wrap up this video, or this live stream, I should say. Let's see. DJ King up there in North Vernon. Shout out to you, my friend. Hope all's well. Lots of comments. 900 of you watching just on our social platform, so I can't go through all of them. So bear with me here as I skim through some of the comments. Somebody's watching us on Twitch tonight. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Skull MD, username there on Twitch. I'm not on Twitch personally, but I know a lot of you are. A lot of our younger viewers are. So we want to make sure we get to everybody who wants the weather information. So we appreciate you guys streaming on Twitch. Let's see. So what about Southern Kentucky? We're looking at severe weather. So let's pop up the severe weather risk for this evening, shall we? Here it is. And you notice that level 1 risk continues for Breckinridge County, for Hardin County. I know a lot of you asking about Hardin County, so the risk is still there. For Grayson County, LaRue, Hart, Greene, Taylor, and Adair counties. Those are the ones we're watching. Mainly for gusty winds, straight line winds. The tornado threat is low. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, okay, what do you mean when you say low? I mean 2% or less. The chance of a tornado tonight is 2% or less across central Kentucky in our area. What does that mean? Let's flip it. That means there's at least a 98% chance that we do not see a tornado tonight. I do not expect to see any. Knock on wood, right? Let's hope. But I really don't see it. I think it's more of a gusty wind and heavy rain issue for those of you across central Kentucky who are under that marginal risk. Remember, a marginal risk, that green color on the map, that's a level 1 risk. So when we're talking about severe weather, we rank it on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being a low risk, 5 being an extremely high risk. This is the lowest severe weather risk you can have. I think if these storms perk back up here in the next little bit, we may get a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. That's it. Now, that's not to say you should ignore those, but I'm trying to put you guys at ease when it comes to a tornado threat. There's really not much of one tonight. The better shear, the better spinning and speed in the wind, it's down south of us, way down south. So we don't really have to worry about that tonight. But yeah, still keep that risk around for Hardinsburg, E-Town, Litchfield, Mumfordville, Greensburg, Campbellsville, and Columbia. All right. More comments. Heather says the storms are giving her a little headache. Yeah, it's this low pressure system isn't quite as intense as one we had. I can't remember if it was this past week or the week before, but might be enough of a pressure drop to give you a little headache as it rolls through. Brandenburg, Krista asks, right on top of you guys, actually. We'll zoom in on Meade County. Usually I don't go county by county or city by city, but since I'm just kind of babysitting these storms, well, if I'm just sitting watching these storms by myself, I get bored. So I want to talk to you guys. And I know you all want the info too. So Brandenburg is getting some pretty heavy rain now, right as we speak. Not a severe storm. This is the same storm I mentioned 10 minutes ago that was over here along the Ohio River in Perry County. So it's still scooting to the east pretty quick. It's not severe, but it's got some lightning with it, and it's bringing a bucket of rain to Brandenburg as we speak. So head on inside for a few minutes there, Krista, if you've been outside. Let's see. right. Aaron says it's raining more than a bucket. Yeah, you might need a lot of buckets to keep all that rain under control, right? All right. So, and again, if you have any questions, comments, let me know. I'll roll through some more here in a little bit. But here's the big picture. The last of the storms are rolling through the metro as we speak. In fact, I think I hear that heavy rain on our roof here at the station downtown. So we'll focus on the metro and then we'll go back south. You can see the last heavy downpour starting to move out of the knobs, moving out of New Albany across the Ohio River. It's going to go right over downtown. It is right now. I can hear it. Jeffersonville, the Highlands, Crescent Hill, Indian Hills, up towards Prospect. That heavy downpour will be rolling through. Some very heavy rain in the south end, Fairdale, Valley Station, out near Cosmosdale, seeing some very heavy rain. If you live along National Turnpike, New Cut Road way south in the county. Okolona, about to see another round of heavy rain once again. The heavy thunderstorm that was over Hillview a moment ago, making tracks. It's now over Mount Washington. It's over the northern part of Spencer County. It's over Shelbyville, Simpsonville, heading along I-64. So it's just kind of this smattering of heavier storms. But what's cutting it off now, or will be, is the cold front. So this last line right here, as it moves east and kind of southeast, as it continues to move that way, it shuts off the storms. It shuts them off. So here in Louisville, I think we're done with the storms in the next 30 minutes. 30, maybe 45 minutes. And then we're good to go here in Louisville for the rest of the evening. But if you're going to be out through about 9 o'clock, be aware of heavier downpours again and ponding on the roads. Not much of a severe threat here in Louisville. Now let's go check on this part of the line of storms, because if we're going to have anything severe tonight, it's going to be with this portion of the line from Brandenburg all the way down to Mayfield. Right through here. As these storms initially got going tonight, they were cellular. So they were kind of out there by themselves. Over the last hour, they've congealed. They've come together into a narrow line of storms for the most part. And that should mean we're focusing more on a straight line wind threat, as we have been expecting. Could we see, like maybe this little cell right here, could it try to spin? Yes, perhaps. Maybe some of these little cells, I can't rule it out. But as we talked about a minute ago, the tornado threat is extremely low, 2% or less. Whenever we say low but not zero, we mean 2% chance or less of a tornado, which means a 98% chance that we won't see one. Think of it that way, okay? So we'll watch it. Again, this line of storms, let me get you a different radar source here to show the loop. There it is. So you notice over the last 3 hours, those storms got going right around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Okay, notice how they were kind of out there by themselves. They were by themselves, but they were in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as we've gone through the last little bit, over the last hour now, it's kind of congealed into a line. And it's also, instead of those cells moving east, the cold front is starting to push the entire line south and east just a little bit. So the track is more so like this. See what I mean? There's just a little tilt in these storms moving to the south and east. So, you know, these storms down here in far, far western Kentucky, I don't really think we have to worry about them here. I don't. I think it'll be more of an issue for our friends in Bowling Green and down into Tennessee. If we're going to see any storms here in wave country, any strong storms, I should say, any strong to severe storms, it would be with this portion of the line right here from Madisonville up to Hardinsburg, as the line kind of sags east and southeast like that. Okay, so that's what we keep on watching. Nothing of major concern at this point. Just checking another radar source behind the scenes. Everything looks good. So the part of the line that I'm watching is now starting to move into Grayson and Breckenridge County. So if you're in Caneyville, Cave Spring, any of those little communities between Hardinsburg and Caneyville, time to head inside. Probably see the lightning on the horizon. It's time to head inside for a little bit. Let these storms roll on through, okay? Here's a good question from Sarah. So we've been talking about, the tornado risk, and we talked about how you don't really have to worry about the risk too much when it's 2% or less like it is tonight. When do you start getting concerned about maybe a slightly higher tornado threat? You're talking about a slight risk for severe weather. So remember, we're under a marginal risk tonight. If you get into a slight risk for severe weather and there's a tornadic potential, that's when you don't want to become worried, but you want to raise your awareness that there might be a couple of spin-up tornadoes once you get to that next step, once you get to that slight risk, okay? But we're a step below that tonight, so it's not a huge concern for us. Good question. Very good question. Let's see. Brady says, show Louisville. All right. Let's go back to the metro. It's just heavy rain. It's just heavy rain. It's the last of it. I think it's out of here within 45 minutes. By 9:15, that's a little over 45 minutes, but you get the idea. That's all it is. Just heavy rain. A few pockets of heavier rain. One here in the south end, another right over downtown, moving into Crescent Hill. Still got some downpours up along Interstate 71 into Oldham and Henry County. Shelby and Spencer County, right there. Shelbyville, Taylorsville. Shelbyville, you're seeing the heavy rain now. Taylorsville, you could be the next 5 to 10 minutes, especially if you live on the northern side of Taylorsville, right in here. So that's the view of the metro. So again, just kind of babysitting this line of storms as it rolls through. I don't see anything, quite honestly, I don't see much that is overly concerning at this point. I really don't. Not to downplay it, we still need to keep an eye on it. But it really, more than anything else, this is largely an issue for heavy rain and gusty winds upwards of 40 miles per hour. In fact, the Weather Service just kind of highlighting Breckenridge and Grayson County and Hardin County too for this portion of the line that we were talking about for some of those 40 mile per hour gusts. Let's look at the wind. So you kind of see this darker green line right here that I'm drawing over right there. That is where you might have some 40 mile per hour wind gusts along that line, okay? It's moving, let me check the speed on it. It's moving east at 45. So we'll go to the regular radar and I'll do a storm track since this will be heading into E-Town rather shortly. Bear with me, I got to adjust some settings behind the scenes. All right, here we go. Here comes that storm track. We'll say east at about 45. So if you're in Radcliffe, you're going to be seeing heavy rain in about 5 minutes towards 8:30. Rineyville by 8:35. Radcliffe, Rineyville would also include West Point, Fort Knox. In fact, the heavy rain's right on top of Fort Knox as we speak. Litchfield, give it 15 to 20 minutes and you'll start to see the heavy rain and brief gusty winds. E-Town, closer to the top of the hour, 8:52. Now, don't take that exact minute as gospel. When you look at the times on these storm tracks, it's talking about the exact center point of your particular town, not necessarily where your house is. So E-Town, I'd say around 850 is when the storms arrive. Bardstown, 9:05. Hodgenville, 9:13. Buffalo, 9:25. Then towards Magnolia by 9:30 this evening. So that's the storm track at this point. Again, it is not severe, is this line of storms at this moment, but it could still have some gust around 40 miles per hour. All right. And it's a real quick little hit. Get the gusty winds for 5 or 10 minutes, get the heavy rain for 5 or 10 minutes, and then that's it. You're good to go. If you're in Jeffersonville, if you're in the Knobs, if you're in Corydon, if you're in Crawford County, Indiana, if you're in Perry County, Indiana, you're good. All good. No more storms. In fact, once this last downpour moves out of Laconia and Dogwood and Macedonia and Harrison County, southern Indiana is done with the rain for the night. Everybody in southern Indiana is done. And it'll just be a problem for us here in Kentucky. So we keep watching this line of storms again. We're just kind of hanging out tonight. We're not going to do a full-on, forecast update. I'm going to touch on a few things here in a moment. But we'll keep an eye on this line of storms as it rolls through. Nothing severe. The closest severe storm warnings we had earlier tonight were way out here in western Kentucky. That's where those severe thunderstorm warnings still are. There's only one now in the state. There was 5 earlier. So far, so good. Everything, by and large, is behaving. Other than some hail reports down that way near Paducah, we haven't had any confirmed reports of damaging winds or hail damage. We've had hail, severe hail, but not hail damage. Let's do the big picture. You can see that cold front continues to move through rather quickly. Let me stop it so you guys can see it better. So the front is right through here, and it is kicking that line of storms to the east and southeast. Now, the better ingredients tonight for severe storms are to our south. Better instability, better storm fuel, and you see those severe thunderstorm warnings are lit up like a Christmas tree all the way down to Texas, through Louisiana, through Mississippi, through North Alabama. My friends in North Alabama, again, got some storms rolling through the shoals. So keep an eye on those. Even one tornado warning in Mississippi, right there, northwest of Jackson. So again, that's where the better ingredients for severe have been all day and all evening. That's where they're going to stay. But we just got to make sure this one little line that's rolling through now behaves. Now, you do see this supercell, kind of I say supercell because it's out there by itself, on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. This is in, that is northeast of Nashville, east of Nashville, really. It's along the Cumberland Plateau. Should not be an issue for Adair County because it looks like it's moving pretty far to the north and east. There's Adair County right here. So this shouldn't be an issue for you guys in Columbia. It might be an issue for, let's say, Monticello, Burkesville, closer to Somerset, just outside of wave country. But we'll watch it for our friends there in Adair County. My main focus is this line right here. And that one severe thunderstorm warning, I think, is gone. Yeah, it is. So at this moment, there are no severe weather warnings in the Commonwealth. The National Weather Service, they're they send out these, what they call them, special weather statements. Some of you may hear it called significant weather advisories, just to give us really a heads up, and you guys too, that there's some gusty winds, but they're not severe. And they've done that with this entire line of storms from the south end of Louisville all the way through Hardin, Breckenridge, Grayson counties. This zone over the next 30 minutes is where these storms are going to roll through. And the main issue is heavy rain and gusty winds, not tornadic. Let's see. Can we say we're almost done with the rain and thunder in Brandenburg? Yes. Give it... Actually, the heavy stuff's gone. The heavy stuff is gone, so that's good. It's moving out of Brandenburg, so things are looking good there for Meade County this evening. Several of you guys saying you see some interesting looking clouds. There's nothing tornadic. That's not surprising to see scud clouds. Have you ever heard that term? Scud clouds are basically, they're suspicious looking clouds. They look like they want to cause some trouble, but it's just the nature of how intense the wind fields are above our heads that kind of causes them to look like they're spinning or they're a funnel or something like that. So if you're seeing some of those clouds, or if you're seeing some suspicious looking clouds, you're probably seeing scud clouds. I've seen quite a few of those on the SkyTrack cameras tonight, but that's nothing to fret about at this point. I do not see anything on radar that suggests we have anything tornadic impending. So take comfort in that. I'll check the wind speeds just to be sure. Make sure they're not spinning. And it all looks one way, one direction at this point. So again, we're just kind of hanging out here on this Sunday night. See, this is what we do, guys, when we have severe weather, or when we're watching for the potential for severe weather, is we all just kind of sit around and hang out and watch radar and be ready to jump when we have to do an update on TV or something like that. But at this point, things are looking fine, other than just some heavy rain and gusty winds. Louisville, the heavy stuff will be gone in about 10 minutes. In the south end of Louisville, give it till 8:45, should be done by then. Getting some of your reports. Sorry. Joseph says, how long will these storms last? Here in Louisville, they're done in the next 10 minutes. It'll take until about 11 o'clock to get this line of storms out of our entire area. But if you're here in Louisville and if you're in southern Indiana, the threat is winding down. Same story goes up for Oldham and Henry, Trimble, Carroll counties. You guys are still seeing some rain, but I don't see anything strong at this point that way. Let's see. Mumfordville, Emily's asking about. I'd say, let's see, you guys are on Central Time, so I want to remember that. I would say we're looking at about 8:15 local time, so 8:15 Central Time. So that's about 40 minutes from now. Let me do another storm track. It's just me kind of eyeballing it as it continues to push east. And of course, it doesn't list Mumfordville. Yeah, I'd still say around 8:15, 8:30 Central Time for Mumfordville to get in on some of this mess. And again, guys, it's not going to last long. It's going to last maybe 15 minutes max, then it's done. And then you can go about your night. So, but we'll be here. We'll watch it. We're not going anywhere. Jacob, who do you have winning the NCAA tournament? I have Florida. I have Florida winning it. That was a heck of a game earlier with UConn, wasn't it? I watched it in my my break in between the morning and evening shows. Good game. Let's see. Anything more for Bedford up in Trimble County? Not really. Zoom in on Bedford. Here you guys are. Heavy stuff has moved out. Maybe a few more sprinkles or some drizzle until the cold front moves through, but the heavy stuff is done for Bedford. You guys are good to go. Just looking at another radar source. Everything looks just fine. All right. So we talked about Bedford. Hopefully you guys are good up there in Trimble County. Any more thunderstorms in Louisville, Carrie asks? Well, once these storms move out of Hillview and Glen Mary, we'll be done with the storms in Louisville. That should be in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then we'll be done with the storms here in town. And we'll really focus on our friends south of Louisville, which is what we have been focusing on for most of the weekend, last few days. Emily's asking about Georgia. Will these storms be severe by the time they get to Georgia? They'll be weakening quite a bit by the time they get down to the Peach State. Let's see. Stacy's asking about Shepherdsville. Well, Shepherdsville, you guys are seeing the heaviest storms now, right now. There we are, Bullitt County. There's the main show. Very heavy rain right over Shepherdsville. If you're down near Lebanon Junction, I'd say in about 5 minutes, you're going to start seeing that heavy rain. Claremont, Mount Washington, already seeing that rain. Probably a little bit of lightning too. But once these storms clear in Shepherdsville, Stacy, you're done. It's all over. It'll be just a quick 15, 20-minute downpour with some thunder and a little wind, and that'll be all. Carl's asking about E-Town. Give it 20 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes for E-Town. Actually, maybe less than that. More like 15 to 20. Close to the top of the hour, these storms arrive in E-Town. All right. So again, we're just kind of watching this line of storms as it rolls through. There are no, that is, warnings at this time. There's not even a watch for our area. All the tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches are south of us. Nonetheless, we still have that risk for a couple more hours for some brief damaging wind gust and obviously very heavy rain as this line of storms rolls through central Kentucky. But so far, everything is behaving. The main focus we have right now is 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this line of storms as it zips on by. If for some reason things escalate extremely quickly and I have to go do coverage on TV, again, I don't expect that, but should it happen, we'll have to shut down this live stream real quick so I can run into the TV studio. Okay? I don't expect that, but fair warning, just in case something crazy happens. But I don't expect that. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Let's see. Yeah, so this entire line continues to weaken, which is good. I tell you what's enhancing or what's strengthening this line from Louisville down to Litchfield, it's interacting with the warm front a little bit. It's interacting with that warmer air to the south of Louisville. So that might briefly ramp up the wind just for a few moments. And then those winds should weaken fairly quickly. You can see how the lines continue to progress quickly east, mainly east, kind of southeast, but mainly east. Yeah. I don't want to bore you guys to death, but that's where things are at this point. Katie just joined in. Appreciate you joining in, Katie. Is Carrollton done for the night? Yeah, I got a couple of showers up there. Just good old-fashioned rain showers. That's it. Storms are done for Carrollton. All good. Sleep well. Emily, are these storms as bad as last weekend? No, not even close. Thank goodness. They are not that bad. Not. Now, we have quite a few warnings down south of us tonight. Lots of severe thunderstorm warnings. Whew. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings for Mississippi, southern Arkansas, Louisiana, down towards Dallas, close to Austin, looks like. I almost took a TV job in Texas when I graduated from college, so I had to study it a little bit. But nothing here. Nothing severe here. Just a band of heavy rain and some wind. Travis says, speaking of the wind, it's pretty windy in Shepherdsville. That would make sense. That would make sense. Go back to the regular radar view. Zoom in on Shepherdsville. You guys are seeing the worst of it now. You can see it's moving through pretty quick. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you can kind of see where that red cuts off sharply right there, where I'm drawing this line. That's that push of 40-mile-per-hour wind as this line rolls through. Check something behind the scenes here. Yeah, I'm only seeing winds above your head in Shepherdsville around 35. So we might be having some 30-mile-per-hour gusts getting near the ground, but that's it. All right. What more questions do we have? Michelle says it's just gnarly. Just gnarly out there. It looks worse than what it is. Yeah, it is, for sure. It is, no question. Just heavy rain for 15 minutes max for most of you guys. Maybe a little wind, 30, 40 miles an hour, and that's it. Okay? That is all it will be. The lightning count's been pretty low tonight. It's been around 50 to 100 for most of the evening, which is good because that means storms aren't really intensifying a ton. Brandenburg, Meade County, you're good to go. No more storms. Louisville, you are good to go. Oldham County, all good. Trimble County, Carroll County, all good. So we're checking off the counties as we go through this evening. What more questions do we have? Ashley, hey, Ashley, hope you're well, my friend. E-Town gets off work at 9. Do you need to wait? I would wait until maybe 9:15. You can wait 15 minutes, let the heavy stuff roll through, gone, good to go. Maybe wait 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see. Austin, is this headed straight for E-Town? I'm on 65 at Shepherds, and Shepherdsville is crazy to drive through. It is moving towards E-Town, yes. So if it gets too heavy, maybe just maybe pull off there at the rest area in Bullitt County if you haven't passed it already. If you have, then just get to the next exit and just kind of let the heavy rain roll through. It won't take 10, 15 minutes and you'll be good. All right. So hope these guys, hope these reports or questions are being answered. Angela says it's pouring buckets in Taylorsville. Yes, it is. Sure is. I'm going to walk you through your forecast for tomorrow real quick, and then we'll go to radar. And if everything keeps behaving, I'll probably wind this down here in the next 15 or 20 minutes, okay? So just after 9 o'clock. Tomorrow looks great for the most part. We've got a lot of sunshine on the way tomorrow. Temperatures will be seasonable. Be very, very comfortable for March. Late March already, which is crazy to think about. 63 is our forecast on Monday. Not bad. Our average high is 61. But the problem tomorrow, my friends, will be the wind. Windy, windy, windy. We talked about that a lot this spring, haven't we? Or this March, I should say, since spring officially just started 3 days ago. So as we go through tonight, there will still be a light breeze with us. Won't be too bad. Maybe 10 miles an hour or so, 10 to 15, once these storms roll out. But the wind will shift out of the west through the day, and we'll be getting kind of in this northwest flow pattern. Now, that will eventually lead to on-again, off-again showers for much of the week ahead, which you'll see on the 10-day. But for tomorrow, it'll bring us the gusty winds. You notice those wind gusts Monday afternoon? Easily over 30 miles an hour for most of us. I'm not going to rule out gusts as high as 40 miles per hour on Monday. It's not an alert day because, quite honestly, I don't see widespread wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. But that's obviously enough to toss around loose objects on the patio or on the porch. For those of you that decorate for Easter, if you've decorated for Easter already, might want to anchor down some of that decor, but it's going to be beautiful tomorrow, just quite windy during the afternoon especially, and that breeze relaxes a little bit as we head into the evening tomorrow. But that's the main focus for your Monday. Let me pull up the 10-day. I'll show you those rain chances we're talking about. Let's be clear. Once we get past tonight's strong storm potential, there is nothing alarming, nothing screaming severe weather over the next 10 days. Instead, with that northwest flow pattern, the temperatures are going to hold steady. Highs in the upper 50s to low 60s, lows in the 30s and 40s. Nothing out of the ordinary for late March. And we'll also have these little disturbances kind of scooting through in that northwest flow, giving us a few showers at times. Now, it's difficult to pinpoint exactly when each specific round of showers is going to roll through. I can tell you the first round of showers will likely arrive Tuesday morning. So the Tuesday morning commute might be wet. So that's one round. There could be looking like another round of showers Tuesday night. And then we start to see those rain chances ramp up by Friday once again. And then as we head into next weekend, we kind of get rid of that northwest flow pattern. We warm things up. We go back to southerly flow. We surge into the 70s Friday, Saturday, and next Sunday. And that's when we'll have to watch another system that moves in that could perhaps bring more storms 1 week from tonight. That's really all we can say at this point. It doesn't look like a huge severe weather threat for now, but it's something that still bears watching 1 week from now. But nothing screams huge severe weather anytime soon, which is a very, very good thing. So, coming up on 9 p.m., appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been on for almost an hour now. Gosh, have I really? Ooh. Sorry, guys. I hope I'm not boring you. With that in mind, I will show you radar one more time, and then I'll probably wind this down because I got to get ready for our newscast at 11. Again, narrow band of thunderstorms continues to roll through tonight. These storms are strong. They are not severe. They have not been severe in our area all day. If you are in Louisville, points north, you're done with the storms. All done. Louisville, some showers for a few more minutes, Then we'll be dry. Southern Indiana, it's over. Good to go. Breckenridge County, you're good to go. Meade County, fine. Oldham, Carroll, Trimble, Henry County, good to go. It'll be this particular area that I'm going to draw out that we will be watching for about 2 more hours. Maybe less than that, to be honest with you, but we'll say 2 more hours to keep it simple. This is the main issue is going to be heavy rain and gusty winds. I have not seen gusts over 40 miles per hour in about 45 minutes. It's been a while. Nonetheless, there's at least some gusty wind with this. And obviously you want to head inside if you're outside at this hour. Hang out in the car, hang out at work if you're about to head home. But once this line of storms rolls through, it's done. Your storm threat is done, and you can go to sleep or go about the rest of your evening. So I will do one more storm track on this to kind of show you what time the storms will arrive where you are if you live in this area in central Kentucky. And then we'll probably wrap this thing up because I want to make sure I still have a voice for our newscast tonight at 11. So these storms are moving east. Depending on what part of the line you're looking at, it's either 45 or 55 miles per hour. So we'll go right down the middle and say 50. We'll say these storms are generally moving at 50 miles an hour. Here comes our track. It's basically along I-65 in Bullitt County, near Lebanon Junction. Stretches down the Western Kentucky Parkway too. Whoops. Try that again. Hang on just a second. All right. E-Town starting to move in. So head inside for a few minutes. Here's that updated storm track. Bardstown, about 5 minutes away. You're going to be seeing these storms roll through. Buffalo, 9:12. Springfield, 9:24. Lebanon, 9:35. Campbellsville, 10 o'clock. So closer to 10 o'clock for Campbellsville. And then it should be clearing Adair County by the time we come on for our newscast at 11 o'clock tonight. So just a couple more hours watching these storms as they roll through central Kentucky. There's nothing severe at this time. Could we have a severe thunderstorm warning or two? Yes. So we will continue to monitor it. If it's a significant situation where I need to jump back on here on Wave Weather Now, I will on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. But if you live south of the Kentucky Parkways, if you live Litchfield, E-Town, Bardstown, Point South, just make sure you have the Wave Weather app handy. Hey, how about that? Gotta love it, huh? Oh, man. So here's a severe thunderstorm warning. This is the first one of the night. Right as I was wrapping up. I'll hang tight for a little while longer. This is for Spencer County, southern Shelby County, and Franklin County. It also includes northern Nelson County for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. And this warning goes until 9:30 tonight. So let's see. If you're watching... Oh, goodness, I got spammers. Hang on. I got a severe thunderstorm warning, and I got spammers. Ay. All right, so if you're watching this in Spencer County, it's time to head inside. Let's check the winds on this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what they're looking at. Where you see these brighter reds in western Spencer County, near Waterford, near Normandy, even down towards Cox's Creek. That's where the Weather Service is a little concerned about those winds rushing down maybe upwards of 50, perhaps 60 miles per hour. Okay? So that's why we got the severe thunderstorm warning. This is mostly for Spencer County. I misspoke a moment ago. It's not for Franklin County. I apologize. It's not for Franklin County. That's for Anderson County, which It's just outside of our area. So mostly an issue for Spencer County. It also includes southern Shelby County, so Harrisonville, Southville. If you're near those little communities in Shelby County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And for far northern Nelson County, I'm talking north of Bloomfield, this little sliver of Shelby County is under a severe thunderstorm warning right here. This is not a warning for Bardstown. This is not a warning for Bardstown, okay? And you can see those brighter reds rolling right through Taylorsville as we speak. Those brighter reds is where we could have some of those straight line winds rush down to the ground, maybe gusting closer to 60 miles per hour. So the Weather Service just kind of being cautious, issuing this severe thunderstorm warning. It goes until 9:30. So we got another 33 minutes on it. It'll likely get canceled before then because the storms are moving so quick. But we'll be here to watch it. So we'll hang tight right as I was wrapping up our conversation. That's okay. That's all right. Let's check the hail. Angela's asking about hail. Angela, let us know what kind of, if you can, kind of give us an idea of when you might be seeing, if you don't mind. All right, let's check the hail. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, the first one of the night. We almost got through it without any warnings, but just missed it. Angela, I'm not seeing any hail in Spencer County right now. Don't see any. There may be some little pea-sized hail in a couple spots. Nothing more than that. The Weather Service usually, well, I take that back. There might be some hail right there. That's just pea marble-sized hail right over Watertown. Moving into Taylorsville. So there could be some pea-sized hail, like I said, but nothing necessarily at this point screams really large hail at this point. Angela on YouTube says you do have hail. Okay, can you tell me what size hail you might have? Let me know what size hail, if you can, safely. If you can't do it safely, then don't worry about it. But would love to see it if you are able. All right, so keep this warning around for a little while longer. Goes until 9:30. The rest of the line looks like it's behaving. It's getting kind of squirrely, though. Nothing of major concern at this point. Let's see here. I'm going to try to see if I can. I'm going to get into a different computer so I can check on a couple of things. Sorry for the silence, just working on getting something set up here. Okay. So again, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Spencer County primarily. It does technically include Shelby, southern Shelby, and it does include northern Nelson. But it's really a Spencer County issue. Just making sure there's no rotation trying to get spun up. I don't see any, which is good. Amy says she just got the warning. Good. So this is for extreme northern Nelson County. So Bardstown, you're not under a warning. Cox's Creek, you're not under a warning. New Haven, no. Bloomfield, no. Balltown, Boston, none of you guys. This is for a tiny sliver of Nelson County right here. That's it. You see they're trimming up that warning. Seeing a little purple in there near Taylorsville, so we certainly might have some hail in the mix. Check it again. And again, I was hoping to wrap up our discussion here because things look like they were behaving, but Mother Nature has a way of making you think that we're all good when we're not done just yet. Let's try it this way. There we go. So yeah, there could be some pea to marble size hail in in Spencer County. But I'm not seeing anything up to quarter size yet. Weather Service went ahead and said there's a chance for some quarter size hail just to cover themselves, understandably so, but I don't see anything like that just yet, which is good. All right. Brittany says lots of hail in Taylorsville. Okay. Tell me if you can, Brittany, what size hail you're seeing, just so I can kind of see if my hail tool here in our station is accurate. Let me know. Let's see. Chris says a little bit of hail in Grayson County. All right. Good to know. Braden, does this warning have a tornado possible tag? No, it does not. No, it does not. Don't see any rotation wind at this point. Just some gusty straight line winds, which is what we've really been most concerned about throughout the day today and now tonight. And I don't see anything else of major concern elsewhere. All right. Dorothy's asking about Radcliffe. Radcliffe, I believe you guys are done with the storms. I think it's all over. Yeah, Radcliffe, you're good to go. Good to go, Dorothy. All the storms are down near E-Town at this point. All good. Looks like we have a new warning down in Logan County, Kentucky. It's outside of our area. But if you know anybody down near Russellville, Lewisburg, might want to give them a heads up and see if we got hail with this storm down in Logan County. Don't see a ton. So that's probably for wind as well. So it looks like these storms are kind of taking advantage of some instability, not a lot, but some. And they're perking up just a little bit. Nothing to fret about at this point. But they're kind of giving one last gasp before they move out of our area. All right. So the only warning we have in our backyard is in Spencer County. Spencer, technically Southern Shelby, technically extreme northern Nelson, but it's really a Spencer County issue at this point. Brittany says she's seeing a lot of pea-size hail in Taylorsville. Great. Great in the sense that it matches what I'm seeing on our map. So thank you, Brittany. Really appreciate that report. Helps me a lot. All right. So we've got pea-size hail falling with this part of the line of storms in Spencer County. All right. So We got this warning for another 25 minutes. It should be gone before then, mainly because the storms are moving so quickly. All right, so let's give it a few more minutes. We'll check the rest of the line of storms. It's moving through E-Town now. It's moving through E-Town as we speak. Bear with me here. All right. Just making sure everything's good. Southeast Indiana, Gwen, you're good. Storms are way out of Indiana. No issues at all. Marion County, Tammy's asking about. Yeah, these will be moving into Marion County pretty soon. Let me do a storm track once more. Yeah, they're moving east at about 50 miles per hour, 50 to 55, give or take. So here we go. Oh, that's a terrible storm track. Sorry. Ignore that. So there we go. All right. Hodgenville, you'll see the heavy stuff any second, really. Closing on 9:08. Springfield, 9:30, thereabouts. Lebanon, 9:38. So if you're in Marion County, I would say in the next half hour, you will see these storms roll through. Campbellsville, close to the top of the hour, 9:50 or so. 9:50 for Campbellsville in particular. Danville, which is obviously just outside of our area, just after 10 o'clock. So we continue to watch this severe storm in Spencer County. It's definitely perked up a little bit here in the last few minutes, in the sense that there's some pretty gusty winds. And as you guys have confirmed to me this evening, there's been a few hailstones, a few pea-sized hailstones. It's moved out of Taylorsville. So Taylorsville, you're clear. You're good. It's really an eastern Spencer County issue. Mount Eden, which is right there on the Shelby-Spencer County line. And then down near Van Buren, Highway 636. And again, some of these roads may make no sense to you, but if you're in eastern Spencer County, they do. That's why we do this. So Little Branch Lane, I think that's what that was. Van Buren Road. Maybe Little Beach Lane. That's very small writing. Little Beach Lane, okay. Driscoll Lane, Murphy Lane, Beach Creek Road. If you live near any of those communities there in Spencer County, you're getting some extremely heavy rain and perhaps some hail still. Let's check the hail one more time. And it's not as impressive as it was a few minutes ago. Maybe near Little Mount could be a couple of pea-sized hailstones. But that's all we've heard of so far is pea-sized hail, not quarter-sized hail just yet. All right. We'll go back to the regular radar. And this will very quickly be an issue for Anderson County, Kentucky, which belongs to TV stations in Lexington. They take care of Anderson County. But if you know anybody in Anderson County, you might want to give them a call. Let them know what's happening. Big picture, once again. You can see these storms are quickly pushing off to the east and southeast. That Spencer County storm is definitely the strongest on the board. The rest of it still has some gusty winds around 40 miles an hour, and the Weather Service is not, it looks like, planning on issuing any warnings for the rest of the line at this point, which is good. But I'll hang out here for a few more minutes as long as this warning is still in place. And then I'll definitely have to wrap up so I can get ready for our newscast at 11. Dylan's asking about Clarksville, Indiana. It's all done. It's all good, man. All good. All good. We are done with the storms in Clarksville tonight. Paula, any hail in Washington County? Not yet. But as the storms roll through here in the next half hour, there could be some pea-size hail. That won't be enough to cause any damage, but it might ping on the window and might be a little loud as that hail is falling. Let me actually just kind of do a big picture view of the hail map. There's not much. Not much. So again, maybe some pea-size hail. That's about it. Home view, regular radar. There go the storms. Yeah, this is about going the way we expected it to at this point. Although I will say, remember we were talking about the lightning count earlier? How it had been holding steady around 50 to 100 lightning strikes on this map? Well, now it's up to 168. So again, these storms are perking up just a little bit as they move through our southern counties. So we're not totally clear just yet. I still don't expect to see warnings all over the place. Knock on wood. I hope not. But I can't rule out a couple of more severe thunderstorm warnings like we have right now. Okay. The severe storm warning we do have for Spencer County continues until 9:30. I keep saying just Spencer County. It's not just for Spencer County. That's my mistake. Southern Shelby County is also in this. Harrisonville, you guys are under the warning. You see they just cleared Taylorsville from the warning. Makes sense. The storm's moved out of Taylorsville. And it's really moved out. The worst of it's moved out of Spencer and Nelson County. It's still holding on in Harrisonville and Shelby County. So we'll hang tight with it here for a few more minutes. Let's check the wind again. I heard our alert tone, so I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it's just an update. Just this one warning, my friends. That is all we got. It goes until 9:30. And there is that one warning for Logan County, Kentucky, down near Bowling Green, Russellville, Lewisburg. I'm very familiar with that part of the world. I have a lot of college friends from Logan County. So if you know anybody down there, might want to give them a call. All right. Still a pretty good wind signature in Anderson County with this. There may be something trying to spin up in Anderson County, but Anderson County is not our area. It's not our area. I'm just kind of talking to myself here. Oh no, that's nothing. Never mind. Never mind. That's what you have to do when you're looking at radar. You have to look at the different types of radar imagery to see if you got problems or not, right? So, let's see. Shelby's got hail in Bloomfield. Shelby, can you tell me what size hail you got? If not, that's okay. I just like to get an idea of what we might be looking at here. Don't put yourself in danger. Thank you for keeping us informed and safe. Of course. That's our job. That's our job. And with the advent of all things digital now, we can talk about these severe storms on social media and on our streaming platforms, so we don't have to mess with whatever might be airing on NBC on Wave. So hopefully everybody's happy. You get the weather information on the digital side, and we don't have to interrupt whatever's on TV, because that's never pretty when that happens. A lot of grumpy people come out of the woodwork. We still got some heavy storms rolling through southern Grayson County, southern Hardin County, Glendale, Sonora. We haven't talked about you guys tonight. You're seeing the worst of the storms now. LaRue County, you're next. Hodgenville, 5 minutes. You'll get that heavy rain and wind. Bardstown, you're seeing the worst of it now as well. Hang on a second. Okay. And this part of the line is not severe. Still not severe. And I mean, there's still some good wind with it. Don't get me wrong. It's just not, it's not severe wind. It's around 40 miles per hour at this point. Let's see. LaDonna, has it passed Irvington? Yes, it has. Irvington, you're all good, LaDonna. No problems for the rest of the night. No problems. We appreciate the over 1,100 of you that are watching us on our social media platforms tonight. Again, usually my conversations with you on the weekends here on Wave Weather Now are not usually more than 30 minutes. We've been on for close to an hour and a half now, because I know you guys probably wanted updates on these storms, even if they weren't severe. And now that we've had a warning, we're going to stay with it until the warning expires. But I will have to wrap up here shortly, because I have to get ready for our newscast at 11. If I could stay on here all night, I would, until my voice quit on me. But anyway. Notice these storms that have really gotten going in Adair County in the last few minutes. Some pretty heavy rain, in fact, all through Adair County, stretching down towards Burkesville. So very heavy rain in Adair County ahead of the main show. So if you're in Columbia, you're seeing the heavy rain, you think, all right, this is it. Not quite. We're likely getting some moisture return ahead of the main line of storms there in Adair County. That's kind of caused those storms to blow up here in the last half hour. Columbia, Gradyville, Cundiff, Dunville, Adair County, even down into Metcalf and Metcalf County, and down towards Tompkinsville too. So here we are. Yeah, that's impressive. Those storms in Adair County just blew up in the last half hour. How about that? They're not severe. Excuse me. The only warning we have is for Spencer County, Shelby County, and Nelson County. Extreme southern Shelby, eastern Spencer, extreme northern Nelson. By extreme northern Nelson, I mean north of Bloomfield. That's how far north this is. Just barely clips Nelson County. Courtney just hit Chaplin. The wind is howling, I bet. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't see severe storms, you're going to see wind gusts probably around 30, maybe 40 miles an hour with the rest of the line. The severe storm is out of our area. It's out of the warning. The warning technically goes for another 10 minutes. I'll wait to see what the Weather Service decides to do before I wrap this up. Ooh, I don't like this. Oh, okay. you kind of have a, this is down in Logan County. So this isn't in our area, but I know some of you might have friends down there. That's kind of a embedded supercell that's still holding on. North of Russellville, heading towards Auburn, Kentucky, not Auburn, Alabama. It has that look that worries me a little bit. See that little hook? Now, look, I don't think there's a tornado happening now. I don't at all. But there might still be enough shear to where something might try to spin up here a little quickly in Logan County. Again, this is not in our area. I'm just kind of watching it as it continues to push east and southeast. Might need to keep an eye on it for our friends in Bowling Green. I don't know if WKU's on spring break this week or when spring break was, but if you know anybody in BG, you might want to give them a heads up too. All right, 9:22 on this Sunday night. Storms have cleared Litchfield. If you're in Litchfield, you're good to go. Everybody in Hardin County except Glendale and Sonora, you're good to go. Shelby County, you're good. I know you're technically under the warning for a few more minutes, but you're fine. The severe storm's out. So these storms continue to roll through our southeast counties now. And again, I really think they're out of here by 11 o'clock. So in the next 90 minutes. Until then, we'll still have that risk for heavy rain and some gusty winds. Maybe another warning or two. Can't rule it out. Can't rule it out. All right, so we'll wait to see if this warning is allowed to expire. It should be. In fact, I believe it has been allowed to expire. It's just not off our map yet. Okay, it has. So the severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby, Spencer, and Nelson County is gone. The yellow box is still there. I know, but the Weather Service has told us behind the scenes that the warning is going to be allowed to go. So there are no more warnings at this point. We will continue to watch these storms as they roll through our southeastern counties. So if you're in Hart County, Mumfordville, Horse Cave. If you're in LaRue County, if you're in Nelson County, south of Bardstown, if you're in Washington County, Kentucky, Marion County, Greene, Taylor, and Adair counties, you guys still have a risk for a few more strong storms through about 11 o'clock. This is a quick-moving storm, quick-moving line of storms. Once this line moves out, we're done. It's all good. I don't have to stay here all night and babysit these storms all night, just until 11. Could we have additional severe thunderstorm warnings? Yes. But I don't see anything at this point that is of major concern. Some gusts around 40 miles per hour, certainly possible. But everything at this point in our area looks to be below severe limits. Let me do a storm track one more time as these storms continue to progress eastward at a pretty fast pace, around 55 miles per hour. So here we go. One more storm track, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So if you are in Magnolia, in LaRue County, you're going to see these heavy storms in a couple of minutes, like a minute or two from now, 9:27. Springfield, you will see these heavy storms by 9:40. Lebanon around 9:45. Greensburg, close to the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock down in Greene County. Campbellsville, same thing, close to the top of the hour. And then we should start to see these storms completely move out of our area by 11 p.m. So that's where things stand at this point. I'm going to wrap up this live stream, guys. I appreciate you all tuning in over the last 90 minutes. Again, I will watch these storms like a hawk over the next hour and a half just to make sure they still behave. But if you're in Louisville and southern Indiana, the severe weather threat is over. There really wasn't much of a threat to begin with, but any threat we had is done for those of you in that part of wave country. LaGrange, you're good. Bedford, Carrollton, Eminence, good to go. Shelby County, you're fine. Spencer County, you're fine. E-Town, Litchfield, done. Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, all good. It's just our southeastern counties here that we will be watching for another hour and a half until this line of storms can roll through. All right, that's going to do it for now, guys. I appreciate you watching. I will be watching these storms very closely. If anything gets really crazy, I might try to do a quick live stream, but hopefully that is not the case. And you guys will see me again coming up on Wave News at 11 on the TV side of things. So if you're still up at 11, I invite you to tune in. That's an old map, so ignore that, all right? The severe storm warning is gone for Spencer, Shelby, and Nelson County. No warnings in effect, but we'll keep watching so you guys don't have to worry about it. See you later.